Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So carrying on with the quick vids for the G7P, and this one we're going to have a look at curve. So basically what this does, as stock you've got your normal steering or your normal throttle and it's just linear. So what you can do with this is we can go in and we can adjust the curve. So if we adjust it 100% positive, if you watch the steering, as you start turning, it'll turn a hell of a lot and then slightly less as you get to the extreme. If we go all the way down and we put it into negative, then it'll turn less as you start steering and then a lot more as you get to the extent of your steering angle. Now, when you use this, if you're struggling to keep your car in a straight line and you feel like slight inputs are turning too far, you can move it to negative. Likewise for the throttle or the brake, if you feel like you're struggling as you pull the trigger, so as you start pulling the trigger, if you feel like it's braking too sharp too quick, you could go onto your brake curve and then you could move this into the negative. So we'll turn it on and you can move it to negative, and as you see it pulls the curve down, so the first bit of travel has less effect and then you get more effect as you pull the trigger further in. And exactly the same with the throttle. So if you feel like your first bit of throttle input is giving you sort of too much, you could go into throttle, you can turn that on, and then you could move it to negative. And the further down you move it, the more you'll have to move the actual throttle trigger before it starts going. So if we leave it fully at negative, and you can see you have to move the throttle quite a lot before you start picking up speed. And then if we do the opposite and we move it all the way to positive, now you see very little movement on trigger and you're getting a lot of throttle really quickly. So let's move these back. Else we'll have some really weird functioning RC. Now, the other thing you might want to do is make this so you can adjust it on the fly. So what you can do is assign these to either buttons or switches for turning it on and off, or a variable dial to make it adjustable. So to do this, we'd go down to assignments. So your variable dials, if we go in, VR2 is this one. So if we go in and we set that, and we set it to, let's have a look, steering curve. And then to quickly turn it on and off, let's have a look, switch 1. So set that to steering curve as well. Then what we can do, you've got adjustment on there. So if I just flick it up so you can see what's happening as well. So if we go all the way to one extreme, let's turn it on. So you can see now it's really sensitive. And if I go all the way to other extreme, you can see I have to turn it a lot further. And then if I set it back to center, we're back to normal steering. And then, so let's see. So if we set it to that, so all the way to extreme, and you can see that it's now on. So I'm having to turn it quite a lot. Press the button and you're back to normal linear steering. Press it again You're back to having to turn it quite a lot before you get any input, and it is fully variable on that dial. And you can do the same for throttle or brake, and you can also set it to one of the other switches to turn on and off, and you could use this dial at the top. I'm not going to set it to that at a minute because I've got my gyro set to that one. That's the gyro gain at minute. But just a quick explanation of what the actual settings do. If you ever wonder what you've got set on these, you can come in, you can have a look, and it'll tell you whether it's on or off. And then if you just go into it, you can see what you've got it set to. So I'm just going to come back in, and I'm going to turn these off. So we're just back to normal steering and normal throttle. But thanks again for watching WTF Rc Cars. If you find this kind of video useful, interesting or entertaining, don't forget to like and subscribe, share to friends and family, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one.